We agreed today that the formation of the new Syrian opposition coalition is an important step forward and will help us better target our assistance. Today, I'm pleased to announce that the United States is providing an additional $30 million in humanitarian assistance to help get much-needed food to hungry people inside Syria and to refugees who have fled to Turkey, Jordan, Lebanon, and Iraq, which brings our total humanitarian assistance to $200 million. There's been a lot of conversation, as you might expect, Bob, but no concern whatsoever being expressed to us because the mission has been set forth, it is being carried out.
Ashley Gillen, Sky News.
Secretary Clinton, on China, you've written in this communique that you'd like to see China exhibit greater military transparency and will encourage that. How will that happen? And considering Chinese state media reacted negatively to the Northern Territory troop announcement, do you expect China will be uncomfortable with the United States having an increased presence in the Indian Ocean? And on that front, what exactly is America's wish list when it comes to HMS Sterling, other ports and increased access to those northern air bases? Do you have a time frame on that? Well, first, let me state the obvious, that the United States and Australia have been close allies and friends for decades, and we have not only security ties, but commercial ties, personal ties, cultural ties, and our relationship between the two of us is among the strongest of any two countries in the world. By the same token, we both recognize that increased cooperation with China is mutually beneficial. So this is not a zero-sum competition. Rather, it is up to the United States and Australia to lead the way in demonstrating that the strong relationship between us can also help foster strong, healthy relations with China, because the entire region will benefit from a peaceful rise of China. And as I've said many times, we welcome a strong and prosperous China that plays a constructive and greater role in world affairs. But we also want to see China act in fair and transparent ways that respect international norms and standards, follows international law, protects the fundamental freedoms and human rights of its people and all people. And the Pacific is big enough for all of us, and we stand to benefit from increased cooperation across the Asia-Pacific region as long as there is a level playing field and everybody knows what the rules are and everybody is held to the same standards. With respect to specific questions, I think that the ministers, particularly Minister Smith and Minister Panetta, have addressed those questions. But we're, very comfortable that our relationship is a positive one that should contribute to greater peace and prosperity in the region, and we want all nations to be part of that.
I would just add that there's no news in this communique that would surprise China or any other nation in the region. Next question, David Brunstrom, Reuters.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. For Secretary Clinton, please, on Syria, I just wondered if there's any point at which the United States could follow France in fully recognizing the Syrian coalition, and also perhaps in future to provide lethal aid. Are there any conditions on that? And on Burma, I wonder if I could ask whether concerns have eased to the extent that the United States could consider lifting more sanctions, or are there still worries, for example, about links with North Korea, and also on the Rohingya issue, where there are reports that there have been organized killings of Rohingyas? Thank you.
Well, first, with respect to Syria, we congratulate and welcome the new Syrian opposition coalition on the progress that they have made in Doha to broaden and unify the opposition leadership to make it a more effective representative body that will truly reflect the aspirations of the Syrian people and have credibility with those inside Syria who are doing the fighting and demonstrating the dying and dealing with the continuing assault from the Assad regime. We have long called for this kind of organization, and the United States was deeply involved in the work that went on leading up to and at Doha. Now we want to see that momentum maintained. Specifically, we urge them to finalize the organizational arrangements to support the commitments that they made in Doha and to begin influencing events on the ground in Syria as the Syrian opposition takes these steps and demonstrates its effectiveness in advancing democratic, pluralistic Syria. We will be prepared to work with them to deliver assistance to the Syrian people. So good beginning, highly welcomed by us and others, and we want to see the steps taken that have been promised, and we stand ready to assist this new opposition in standing itself up and representing the Syrian people to the regime and the international community. Regarding Burma, I very much look forward to returning with President Obama. When I first visited Naypyidaw and Rangoon last December, we pledged that the United States would respond to positive reform steps that were taken by the government with steps of our own. And the President's visit next week speaks to how far we have come in this action for action approach that we outlined. We have matched the reforms taken by having full diplomatic relations, exchanging ambassadors, allowing new U.S. investment in Burma, as well as the export of U.S. financial services, and supporting assistance from the international financial institutions. And let me say that Australia has been an indispensable and strong partner in this process. The reforms have a long way to go. The future is not certain, but we are making progress, and we want to see that progress continue. The President will have the opportunity to discuss the path forward in detail. And, of course, one of the items on the agenda will be the ongoing conflict in Rakhine State. We have condemned that violence. We've called for calm and a meaningful dialogue to address the legitimate needs that are at the base of these underlying issues. And certainly we expect the Burmese authorities to ensure the security and safety of all the people in the area and to act expeditiously both to stop violence and investigate it and bring those responsible to justice. So we have a lot to talk about when we visit with the President. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.